I'm originally from here, from Orlando, Florida. It's a city about 50 minutes south of DeLand. And I've lived and traveled all over. I lived in China for 6 years. I love China. I just recently came back about almost 1 year ago. So yes, and I have also been a vegetarian for 12 years. Yes, I would love to go to Brazil, and capoeira is amazing. When would I come to Brazil? Probably next year if the virus leaves. I would love to go for Carnival. So if I could ever go for that, that would be amazing. All right. Yeah, surfing's awesome too. Okay, good. So next up here, it's my honor and pleasure, and I'm so happy and excited to introduce one of our students and a pretty important guy here, Vitor Lacerda. So let's have Vitor introduce himself. All right, go ahead, Vitor.
Hello, guys. I'm so happy to be here with you. And yeah, I think like a lot of you already know me, but my name is Vitor Lacerda. I'm from Brazil, and I'm a physics major at Stetson, minoring in math, Spanish, in Latin American and Latino studies. So yeah, I love a lot of things, including the choir. I love music. So I'm part of the Stetson Men, which is the male's choir at Stetson University. And I'll talk a little bit about how I got into Stetson. So as you can see, I love a lot of things. And I really want to have that liberal arts education because in Brazil, we just choose a major and we just study that forever. And that's not fun, for me at least. So when I was looking for schools to apply, I always looked for the liberal arts curriculum because even though I was willing to major in physics or astrophysics, I really loved to get to know more cultures and to learn new languages and also learn music or learn everything to have this experience, you know. So I actually applied to many colleges and all of them were part of the liberal arts curriculum. And also I didn't want to go to a very rural setting. So I decided to colleges like in urban or suburban area or actually close to a big town. So Stetson is a really good place to me because I can have that feeling of a small community, but it's very like easy to go to Orlando, which is very nice. There's a lot of opportunities there. So yeah, so Stetson is like a perfect fit to me. And today we're gonna talk more about it, and hopefully it's gonna be a great fit for you guys as well.
All right, sorry, I started talking there and I was muted. All right, so thank you, Vitor. We're happy to have you here. During the presentation, as I go through the presentation, I'll be asking Vitor some questions kind of about different aspects of the school. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. All right, now moving on here. So let's talk numbers. Let's talk to statistics, all right? So Stetson, as far as its location in general, we're gonna talk about way more about the location. So we're actually, the United States, right? We're actually in the southeast part of the US in this state that's like kind of shaped like a gun, like this, right? It's called Florida, right? So we're located right here. This is the land. It's the small circle above the FLO right there in the middle. So that's where we are. That's where our campus is. Central Florida. So it's a pretty nice area too because the weather isn't too crazy. You know, Florida in general is pretty hot, so it won't be that different from, you know, areas of Brazil. Most likely like the north part of Brazil, like the north to Rio is kind of like the kind of how our weather is, right? But if you live in the far south, like Florianopolis and those places, it won't be like that. So as it's subtropical. It's really nice. There's always something to do here. But moving on here, we are #1 in trial advocacy. We actually beat Harvard University. So if you're into law, this is a great school to join us in. In our main campus, we do not have a law program. We have our law program in our other campuses. And I'm going to show you a picture of that one later on. But we are not top 5. We're actually top 4. Yeah, we got top 4 university in the South of the United States by U.S. News World Report. And we're in the top 10% of universities in the United States and top 4% in the world. So we're doing pretty good for a small school. Now, here is the numbers for student population. We have about undergraduate, we have about 3,150. Most of these students, or almost all of them, are going to be in our main DeLand campus. And for graduate students, we have about 1,200, and some of them are doing classes online. Some of them are you know, they're located in the other campuses, like in Tampa and Gulfport. Some of them are coming to our campus as well. So our total student population is about 4,300, and living on campus, we have 2,000 students. So it's an okay number. I mean, it's a smaller school, so things are a little bit more spread out, and you know, smaller population. But it's good because it gives you a sense of familiarity. There's not too many students where you're just surrounded by other people constantly, but it's not too little where you just look at the campus and it looks like a ghost town. So it's actually pretty nice. It's a happy medium. All right, so we have 17 Division I sports. So Division I means the highest rank in sports in the United States. So if you play for a Division I team, you know, usually you can get recruited by like professional teams. So if you're in a Division I basketball team for university, you can get, if you're good enough, you can get recruited by like the NBA, things like that. Yeah, we have Division I football or soccer, as you guys like to call it. Well, as Americans like to call it soccer. It doesn't make sense. You kick the ball with your foot, it's football. But anyways, we have 19 club sports. So let's say you're not coming here as an athlete, but you want to play football or you want to play basketball. You could join our club sports and compete against other regional schools. So you don't have to be a very big, strong athlete. You could just join club sports. We have 32 residential housing options in total, like around all our campuses. We also have a 13-to-1 student faculty ratio, which I'll talk a little bit about that later in more details. I'll tell you what that number means. All right, next one here, our campus. So our campus is, it's pretty old, right? But not in a bad way, right? Sometimes when we think about an old campus, we might think about a building that kind of makes strange sounds and it smells funny because everything's old and falling apart. That's not Stetson. By old, we mean classic, right? So we have a modern and classic kind of look, right? So you can look by our architecture, like our buildings, that we have colonial Spanish influence. So it wouldn't look too different from, like, if some of you are from Spain or Latin America, some of the buildings in these areas have this specific, unique, architecture from those old times. Florida used to be part of Spain, so we have this unique architecture too. So our university was founded in 1883, and it's the first private university in Florida, right? And it was partially founded by a man named John B. Stetson. It's this guy right here in the bottom, all right, with the cool fancy beard and the nice hat. And he was a hatter. This means that he used to make hats. He was super famous for making some of the best hats in the world, in the United States. If you were a cowboy at that time, you needed to wear a John B. Stetson hat. So this man right here was one of the biggest benefactors in creating the university that we know today. So our sports team, our mascot is the Hatter, right? It's John B. Stetson. So, and we call ourselves Stetson Hatters. So if you ever play sports, you would be a Hatter. If you come to Stetson, you would be a Hatter. So that's a little bit about our history there. We were actually in two major movies, our campus, because it looks really beautiful, you know. So they filmed a few movies. One of the movies that I know about that's a little bit famous, it's from the 90s. It's from an actor called Adam Sandler, and the movie's called Waterboy. So if any of you guys have ever seen the movie Waterboy, it's very funny. And they used our DeLand campus for that movie. All right. Stetson today. So we have 14 different residence hall options. So there's 14 different places on campus and types of places that you can live. They're all different. As a freshman, there's the style that you would be living in is more of like a dorm room, you know, a dormitory with two different people here and in each room. And there would be a shared bathroom for the entire floor. And it's divided by floors for women and men, of course. So it's not co-ed exactly. It's like more floor men, floor women, all right, like that. We have 4 colleges in total. So we have the College of Music, the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business Administration, and the College of Law. College of Law is located outside on another campus. Gulfport and Tampa campuses are the College of Law, but the College of Music, Arts and Sciences, and Business Administration are all on their central DeLand campus here. So most of you as freshmen, as incoming freshmen, even if you're a business major, you will be taking classes in the College of Arts and Sciences. One cool thing about the College of Arts and Sciences is that we just got an $18 million investment donation from Brown & Brown Insurance, which is like a company built by 2 people who graduated from Stetson. So what we're going to use that money for is building new programs and fixing our building and making it a lot better. So this is something that if you guys come to Stetson, you guys will be able to enjoy. There'll be a lot of different programs, a lot of opportunities for you guys. We have in total, I think we have 3 different campuses now. So DeLand, Gulfport, and Tampa. All right, and so if you're interested in knowing more and looking a little bit more at our campuses and what they look like and things like that, I suggest that you go to visit.stetson.edu. You get this cool like virtual tour experience. Not like you're there, but almost like you're there. So somebody takes you around kind of in the video. You can look at different 3D pictures and things like that. So I quickly, you just heard me speak a lot about the campus and kind of what it's like, but I would like for Vitor to kind of share his experience. So Vitor, what is it like being at our DeLand campus? What's the feel? What does it look like to you?
It's like a dream. Like I'm the kind of person that just like walk through the campus and I don't believe I'm there because it's so beautiful. Like it combines the old and the new. So it's really, really amazing. Like I can't say words enough to say how beautiful it is.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yeah, I love the Land campus. I have never been to other campuses of Stetson, but the Land campus is wonderful.
Awesome.
So it's very small. So I lived in NEMAC, which is a residential hall that people complain because it's far, but it's not far at all. It's just like 10, 15 minutes, but inside the campus. So I really like that because it's the way that I can walk because I actually like focus too much on academics and student life. So I should go to the gym more often, but I have this walk from my hall to the main part of the campus. And I really enjoyed that because we have a part that I love, which is the palm court that you can just hang out and put some hammocks to enjoy with your friends. So there's a lot of parts on campus that you can study as well. There is a 24-hour place on the library. So if you need to study like 24 hours, yeah, that's insane, but sometimes it happens. You should go there. And there's a lot of places like I have a video on my YouTube channel that I do like a campus tour. And also on the YouTube channel of Stetson, there is a really, really good campus tour that was recently posted. So I really enjoyed that. So, but there is not enough words to say how beautiful it is because they are making a lot of progress, like make the campus more beautiful, like with the new fountain and a lot of they are rebuilding some buildings. But yeah,
All right, thank you, Vitor. Yeah, there's so in the center of campus, actually, there's like an old water fountain. It's like from the 40s. It was made a long time ago, and there's palm trees around this. There's many palm trees around this fountain, and people actually put hammocks between the palm trees, and they sleep there during the day. So it's kind of like a cool hangout spot. There's different hangout spots all over the campus, but when people aren't in classes or studying, they usually go around the school and they relax, and it's a very relaxing kind of campus, really, from what I've seen. All right, let's see what's next here. So our surroundings, what's around our campus? So around our campus, there's the town of, around our campus, there's a town of DeLand. So we're not like in the middle of nowhere, you know. There's a small town called DeLand in Central Florida, and it looks like the kind of little town that you would see in a CW show, like, or in a TV show, like Supernatural or something like that. It just looks like your regular American small town. It's one main street, right? At the end of the main street or towards it starts the campus, and then you have, you know, Stetson University, right? So about a 10-minute walk away from campus is the main street of DeLand. And it was named like America's Main Street in 2017. So it does have some sort of significance. There's a lot of different little things to do around town. I'll show you here. This is a map of like the Main Street area or the town area. So there's like pizzas, and there's pizza shops and burger shops, and you know, and there's a lot of different cool little bookstores and boutiques and places where you can buy clothes. There's even a theater around. So there's definitely life outside of campus, and there's definitely things to do on the nights and weekends and stuff like that. So I really like that about Stetson. There's always somewhere to go, or you know, something to do that's around. And here's a few more places. So we have just like a 10-minute walk from campus, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. There's a place called Athens Theater. So it's like a little theater where they have plays and, you know, musicals and things like that. And yeah, if you're the type of person that likes drama, you know, and likes plays and acting in plays, you can always get involved with the local theater. We have some students that are like drama students, and they tend to go there and you know, and volunteer and help out, and they get experience doing that, right? Even if, let's say, you're a sound engineer, you're a musician, you can get practice by helping out in a technical side of this theater. Here we go. Next one. DeLand is actually one of the best places in the world to go skydiving. So we have one of the highest places where you can actually skydive from. So I've been skydiving around that area. It's really cool. Florida is a flat place. There's no mountains. So you could just see like the end of the ocean and kind of like either side. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it's only about a 7-minute drive from our campus. And it's really good to go there if you ever want to try skydiving. Here we go, Blue Springs, Florida. If you're into nature, if you like to see wildlife and things like that, only 15 minutes away from our university is Blue Springs, Florida. And it's good for kayaking, fishing, swimming. We have some swimming spots there. These little animals, well, they're not that little, they're actually pretty big. They're called sea cows or manatees. Florida is super famous for them. They live in fresh water, and they're very like kind, slow animals. Unlike alligators, which we have too, but they won't bite you. They usually swim under your boat. You'll be safe. Don't worry. But yeah, it's a good place to see nature And the nature in Florida is very unique. It's very interesting here. So if you're into that, definitely the place to be. So, all right. Beaches. So we definitely have a lot of beaches around us. Ormond Beach is one of the popular ones that people like to go to. I think this is a picture of Ormond Beach here. It's about 35 minutes away in car. Daytona Beach is the spring break capital of the US. So it's like the original spring break kind of place. So if you're into that, you could definitely go to Daytona Beach, especially during March and April. Those are the 2 months where it gets pretty nice there. New Smyrna Beach is a good surfing spot, but it's also the shark capital of Florida. So you gotta be careful while you're out there. But if you're into surfing, that's a good place, New Smyrna Beach. And you can go tanning pretty much anywhere. Most places in Florida, you can go tanning. There's always, it's mostly sunny out here. It rains, once a day, but that's pretty refreshing. Theme parks. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know that Orlando, the town that's close by, about 50 minutes away, Orlando's super famous for its theme parks. So we have Disney, Universal Studios, SeaWorld. We have many water parks, and they're 55-mile drive south. So while you're coming to Stetson, you can get a year pass, and you can go to Disney, or you can go to these parks, on the weekends. So there's actually a Stetson student discount for going to these theme parks. So once you become a Stetson student, you can ask for the discounts, and you can get those. All right. So before we move on here, Vitor, what's like your favorite thing to do that's around campus? Anything on this list or anything I missed here?
Yeah, I've been to Universal Studios for free because I sing in the choir. So we went there for a performance, and then we got the free park, and free food, which is very important. And it was like one of the amazing things that I made so far, because I love Harry Potter. So Universal is amazing. And also because we are close to Orlando, there's a lot of concerts. So I've been to Ariana Grande's concert, which I love. And yeah, I've been to beaches and also a lot of springs. One of them was very insane because 1 week later they found a bear there, but it's Florida, so you should expect some crazy stuff. But I love that. And yeah, the theater is amazing. I also went there for free because we're Stetson students. So we got some events there. I went to a musical, Into the Woods. It was an amazing experience. I love music. So I had a lot of experiences being at Stetson, and I really hope I can go soon because of this COVID thing. I'm in Brazil, but I really miss being there and just enjoying time with my friends.
All right, that's good. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I muted myself for a second there. All right, so good. Thank you for sharing, Vitor. Okay, so moving on here, academics and athletics. So, like I said before, one of our main values here is academic development. I mean, intellectual development, as well as academic too. So the question here is, how do we make sure our students come here, they learn, they grow academically, and they develop professional skills to be ready to work towards building a better future? How do we do that? We make sure that our environment, to the best of our power, is an ideal environment for people to study in, for people to learn, to grow. So what we do is we have a 13-to-1 student faculty ratio. So what that means is that for every 13 students, there's one faculty member or teacher that's willing to help, willing to guide you and, through questions and things like that. So 95% of our teachers have the biggest and best degree in their field that they can possibly have. So this means that when you're getting taught by teachers at Stetson University, they know their stuff. They know what they're talking about, and they come in with the knowledge and the resources to help you where you want to go. So let's say you're a biology major, right? And you're trying to, you have a class and you're trying to do some research on water life in Florida and the freshness of water and things like that. And, how water is changing because of pollution. You might find yourself with a professor who specializes in this, or at least knows or studied with someone in their experience who specializes in this field. So that's why, our professors having this, amazing education is very, very important, right? So on top of that, what we do is we make sure that we have smaller classes. So normally, if you're a freshman or a sophomore, you might be in a class with like 20 to almost 30 students, like 20 to 28 students, right, in a class. But as you go into more advanced classes, you might be in a class with like 5, 6, 7 students, right? So this is amazing because it creates instead of it just being a class where the teacher stands there and he's like, well, X plus B equals, you don't get this. You get to ask questions. You get to engage the professor more. You get to kind of be the professor's friend, right? So this makes for a better learning environment. You learn much quicker. You learn naturally, right? You work on projects together as opposed to your teacher just telling you what to do, right? So that's what makes Stetson unique, and that's the kind of experience that we offer our students here. In total, we have 106 different areas of studies. There's majors, there's minors, and as a student, we have a program where you can make your own major. We have programs that, because we don't have engineering or medicine in our university, we have programs that can prepare you to go on to get your master's for engineering or medicine, right? We have all kinds of options here. So I've met students who, like Vitor. Vitor is a physics major, right? But he really likes Latin American culture and he loves speaking Spanish, right? And he likes math. So he chose to go his own way by creating his own kind of specialization or educational program, right? So that's one thing that I've noticed during my time working at Stetson that's really unique about Stetson. The students, each of the students. I talked to someone who was like, she was a food culture person. So it was interesting. She did sociology with a minor in like world food history, something like that. It was very, very interesting. I know another person who really likes business and music. So he's doing like a double major in music and business administration, things like that. So there's definitely different options here as far as that. So once our students leave the university, they end up going, a lot of them stay here and they end up doing graduate studies here. So you can get your MBA after you're done. You can go into clinical mental health. You can also go into get a master's in education, or you can become a lawyer. We have a speedy legal program that goes 3 years, bachelor's degree, and then in 3 years you get your JD, your Juris Doctor, to be a lawyer. So that's good. But a lot of these other universities, some of our students end up going to, big one is UF for medicine. A lot of our students end up going, they do pre-medical programs here, pre-health programs, and then they do their medical degrees at the University of Florida. Yes, Juilliard for music, Yale for music as well. So there's some there. So another good thing about Stetson is that we have an alumni network that's really, really, really passionate about their time at Stetson. So anybody who comes from Stetson, if they're working in a company, they'll be like, yes, he's also a Stetson student. So a lot of these companies here, like the vice president of EA Sports and the owners of Brown & Brown Insurance, some of the higher up people at Delta, they are Stetson graduates, and they bring in a lot of students from Stetson University. So there's definitely opportunities to do internships in some of these companies here and maybe get a job after you're done, right? So let's see what's in the chat. Wow. Yeah. All right, good. So moving on here. Personal growth. You know, at Stetson, we really like when our students, and you know, the trend is usually that our students get involved. About 60% of our students in general are involved in about 2 clubs or more, right? You know, 30% of our students are involved in sports. So it's a big school on being active. It's about being active. If you talk to Vitor, he's in the choir, right? So along with having his own YouTube channel and being an awesome influencer and doing physics and having 3 minors, yeah, he's also involved on campus because the culture of Stetson is very much about that. And you know, also leadership is a big thing here. So let's say, for example, I spoke to one of the attendants here, actually, Noelia. She's awesome. But there's a lot of people who are into K-pop, right? K-pop is a big growing thing. I like K-pop. I don't do the dances, but it's really nice. So we have a, you know, we may not have a K-pop dancing club. I don't know. Victor might tell you. Do we have a K-pop dancing club here at Stetson? No, I don't think we do.
I don't know specifically K-pop.
Yeah, K-pop.
But a lot of people here really
like it,
K-pop.
right? So I, from one of our applicants here, who's in this room, she had an amazing idea. She's like, I like K-pop. We could start our own club. So if you have 5 other friends that like the same thing that you like, right? You can start your own club here. And it's not just about, you know, having fun while you're on campus, because having a K-pop club would be freaking amazing, but you could put on your resume that you started an organization on your campus and it was successful, right? So it's a good leadership thing to do as well. So Vitor, I would like to ask you, what's your experience with you know, being involved in clubs, and what have you seen for opportunities for leadership at Stetson?
Stetson students are really involved with leadership. I really love that because it makes you feel part of that and just like enjoy with different people and leading together, because being a leader is not like just you being a boss, but it's a collaboration between everyone. So currently I'm a focus leader, which is focus is the orientation week, which is one of the amazing weeks I had at Stetson. And also I'm a wise leader. So I have a person uh, normally from minority, and I'm a mentor and helping with a lot of things about academics, student life, and this kind of stuff. So Stetson students are really involved with leadership on campus and also with community. So I have a friend. She's very involved. She speaks Portuguese. She's learning, and she's very involved with community-based organizations. So she goes to schools to teach some children. So it's very nice that to see that Stetson students are involved not only on campus but also in the DLAN community and beyond. So it's very nice to be surrounded by those kind of people who really enjoy what they do and they choose to help others as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Vitor. Vitor, quick question. Do we have a skydiving club on campus?
Yeah, I believe so. Like, I'm not the kind of person that likes the sports because I'm very bad. But I want to try. Like, I know that we have a surf club.
The surf club, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and even if you're not in the club, you can go to some events in the springs, and yeah, there's also like a lot of kind of things that people can enjoy, and not even if they are not in the club, but they can enjoy that without being part of that.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so I do know that we may or may not have a skydiving club, but at the very least, a lot of our clubs do have events where they go skydiving. I think we do have an adventure club, or, you know, outdoors. So they might be the ones doing that. So yeah, as far as, you know, that's pretty cool though, that you'd want to join or make a skydiving club. I went skydiving once and never again. I did not like it. I did not. I rather fly a plane or something. You know, I will not go skydiving ever again. But for those of you who are into that, that'd be awesome. Okay, next. Athletics. All right. So some of you guys, might be really good athletes. And I just want to let you know that there is an opportunity for you guys to participate in sports, whether it's, professionally in our Division I teams, or when you come here, you can join a club and try out, or you can even do intramurals. So intramurals, I didn't used to know what this meant in college. I ended up finding out later on, but intramurals are actually little teams that you can make with your friends, right? So it could be something like a chess tournament for intramurals, or it could be something like a dodgeball. One of my favorite games to play as a kid. Dodgeball is when you throw balls at each other and they hit you, right? So you make a team with your friends, a little basketball team or anything like that, and you compete against other people who make teams with their friends. So intramurals is more like a fun thing that people do in the spring. And they play against each other within the same university. So we have 17 Division I teams in total. So we have them for soccer, basketball, baseball, tennis, and more. So if you'd like to know more about that and you're interested in becoming an athlete at Stetson, there is a way to do that. We can't do that for you. So like as a recruiter or as a admissions professional, because we are in a highest division of athletic sports, we are not allowed to be the ones recruiting you, right? So you have to speak to your coach separately. They might offer you scholarships as well with that. You can send them your statistics and you can send them videos of you playing and things like that. And they can do the recruiting for you. And we will just work on the admission side to get you to Stetson. So there are some scholarships involved with athletics, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Good. So we talked about, all the great stuff, about Stetson and how things work here and how it is. So let's talk about the application process, okay? So if you're coming in, let's say you're in university, right? And you would come in as a transfer student. So that means that you can bring in some of your classes that you were doing in your university years. You can bring them over to Stetson, but there's a way to do it. You have to get your transcripts evaluated by one of our services. So one thing I wanted to talk about as far as transcripts in general is that a lot of people have been submitting transcripts just translated, and that is enough for now. But things will be changing in the future. And things are getting a little bit more, we need a little bit more official ways of doing it. So if you have college courses that you've taken before, the way that you would bring them over to Stetson is that you need to get them not just translated, but you need to get them evaluated by a third-party service. And we have a list of companies that can do that for you. You just have to ask us, and we'll definitely be giving those to you. So getting them translated is okay for now, but if sometimes the grades aren't easy to read, we will give you a conditional admission, and then you have to go back and get them evaluated by one of the services. So most of you who have applied already have submitted good enough transcripts. If you haven't, you will be receiving a message. So it's not like we just leave it, and you never know, and then you don't get accepted. No, we will let you know, okay? So another thing here is the CSS profile. So we are becoming the type of school that is more need aware. Need aware meaning we like to make sure that we know what the financial situation of a student is so that we can either provide help or assess the situation. So this is why we ask for the CSS profile, right? And the CSS profile is a little bit complicated because sometimes it asks for tax information and things like that. And sometimes you can't upload it onto the application. That is totally okay, right? So when you're having trouble uploading tax information for your parents, when you're doing the CSS profile, you can complete the application and you can send your parents' tax information to our financial aid department. So I'm gonna put in the email here on the chat. It's finaid@stetson.edu, right? So after you've done your CSS, because this question always comes up. After you've done your CSS profile and you don't know where to send your parents' taxes, please send it to that email with your name and your application number, and you should be okay. All right. So we just talked about transcripts, CSS profile. Next one here is proof of English. Okay. So proof of English, we have different options that you can do. You can do TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, or a program called ELS. ELS is more of a program that people do when they're in the United States. It's like a language program, and 112 is the minimum level that we take here. All right, let me plug in my computer real quick, guys. So as far as proof of English, I've been taking copies, but we're not supposed to take copies. We're supposed to take official scores. So official scores, the way that you get them is if you've taken the TOEFL, you have to go onto the TOEFL IBT website and you have to request that they send it to our email, right? So our email, it could be admissions@stetson.edu. So they will send it to us and we will upload them onto your profile, right? For IELTS, it depends where or what company you took the IELTS for, but you're supposed to reach out to that company and you're supposed to request that they send that to us, right, directly. Now, with Duolingo, it's the same thing, right? You're supposed to request that they send it to us. So for all three, that's supposed to be how it is. So for future reference, for those of you who haven't applied yet, please do that. Now, counselor or teacher letter of recommendation. Sometimes we've been having trouble with this in the past. I want to explain what this is. So a letter of recommendation is when you ask a teacher or a counselor to help you, to write a letter for you. If it's not in English, you can get it translated, but it's to write a letter for you about what kind of student you are, what kind of person you are, right? So, a good person to ask to write a letter of recommendation to is any teacher that maybe you're helping in class, or any counselor that you've been talking to about your future plans, any teacher that you might be working with in a school club. These kinds of people can write letters of recommendation for you, okay? So we need one of those. And the last thing here is SAT or ACT. So I just wanted to say that for admissions, you do not need your SAT or ACT scores, okay? You can choose not to turn them in. It does not affect your application, okay? But if you choose to turn them in, please pay attention to our average scores here. It's 1140 to 1300. So if your scores are around there, it might be a good idea to turn them in because it would work very well for you, right? But if they're not there, you might want to consider going test optional, right? So these are basically the 6 items that you need for admission. So I know a lot of people, because our system, whenever you submit an application, our system asks you for your passport copy, sufficient proof of funding, all of these things, right? So these 3 things that I mentioned, sufficient proof of funding, certificate of finance, and passport copies, this is for your visa, okay? You do not need these until you are finished with your application and you have received some sort of answer, okay? So what you do need are these things that are right here. And even the CSS profile, you can always do a little bit later on. But what's most important is the translated transcript, okay? Your proof of English, essay graded paper, and a letter of recommendation. Once you have these 4 things, you will be okay, all right? Okay for review. So for those of you who applied early decision or early action 1, your answers for your applications are being reviewed now. If you're still missing documents or something, don't worry, just try to get them in as soon as possible, okay? I have 5 messages here. Let me see what they are. All right, Stetson accepts ISFA. So no, the answer is no, we do not accept the ISFA. I am sorry. As far as the CSS profile, we do not have fee waivers available, like a code or anything. How it works is if you are, applying and the application determines that you qualify for a fee waiver, you will get it. but we have no power or control over the fee waiver exactly. Okay, so that's one thing there. 1 second here. Okay, and moving on here. So is the CSS profile mandatory, or does it only use it for scholarships? So once again, we encourage you to fill out the CSS profile. It's something that is part of the application process now, but you don't really have to fill out the CSS profile until later. So like, it is part of the application, but you could fill out the application and then do the CSS profile slightly later. But we are having it as one of the requirements for enrollment or admission because we need to be aware of need here. We're still talking. I am talking to management and seeing what we can do about those of you who can't fill out the CSS profile. But let's see what happens here. If I transfer and I don't want to use any credits and I want to start from 0, can I do that? It depends on how you apply. If you apply as a transfer student, we will ask for your college transcripts. So you don't have to transfer any credits over, but we will still ask for your college transcripts. If you are applying as first time in college, we will not ask for your college transcripts. We'll just ask for your high school transcripts. Okay, so you will still need something to prove there. Okay, all right, good. So let's move on here. Okay, so some important deadlines. We already passed early action 1. So if you guys are new to applying here, January 15th is the deadline for submitting your early action 2 application. And we have rolling admissions until March 1st and National Decision Day. So if you applied rolling admissions, right, or you might get a decision around May 1st, okay, or regular admissions. Move-in day is August 14th. So if you got accepted for the fall, the day that you're going to be moving in officially is going to be August 14th. But most students, they end up coming in a little bit earlier. Okay, so moving on here. So here's a topic that is going to be really pressing here. Scholarships, right? So a lot of you are wondering about scholarships here. And hold on, let me let some people into the room. Admit all. Okay. So there are athletic scholarships, and you would be recruited by, so you'd have to talk to the coach about that, right? So it depends. It could be up to full tuition. It depends on what kind of talks you're going to be having with the coach, and if you and the coach would negotiate that. It doesn't have to do anything with us. Okay. Another scholarship that we have is the Global Citizen Scholarship. Now, this scholarship covers full tuition and fees. Okay, and this is a very popular scholarship right now amongst people. We have a lot of applicants, and that's great, but it's specific among regions. So just remember, we have 3 regions for this scholarship. I believe one of them is South America, or the cone, like Brazil, that region. Another one is the Middle East and North Africa, and another one is East Africa. Okay, so please remember that we only have 1 scholarship for each of these regions. Okay, we have 1 scholarship for each of these regions. And all you have to do for this scholarship is submit, an application. You do have to apply before applying for the scholarship. And then you submit a global citizenship essay. Okay, and the instructions for this essay are all on the scholarships portal on our website. So we also have another scholarship for J. Ollie Edmonds, and this is awarded to 2 lucky people. And this scholarship is open not just to international students, but to students from here as well. So Global Citizen is more for just international. And you need a 3.5 GPA or above for this one, an SAT score of at least 1350, right? And you need an essay, and you need 2 letters of recommendation. So what this does is it gives you a full, if you get the scholarship, you get a full ride. So you get tuition and fees covered, you get housing, you get meals, and you get books, everything, 100%, okay? Another one that we have is the merit scholarship. So merit scholarship is something that you guys are considered for as soon as you apply, right? So let's say you turn your transcripts in, and you need your CSS profile for this one too. You turn your transcripts in, you have your CSS profile, you can get up to 31,000 US dollars. Now, I will say that our tuition is $49,500 as of this year, right? That does not include room and meals. So with room and meals, it totals 65,000. So you can get up to, per year, pretty much, you can get up to half of that covered with a merit scholarship. Now, the question is, how do I pay for the rest, right? How do I get money for the rest? And this is a question that's been coming up a lot because, you know, typically a lot of people think, well, if I apply to Stetson, you know, people like Vitor, they made it with full ride. This person did it, this person did it, right? So that doesn't always happen, but that doesn't mean that you can't come to Stetson, okay? With this merit scholarship, you get half of it covered. There's still another half left. There's still another 30-something thousand left, right? There's other scholarships out there that you can apply for, right? That can help you cover the rest. Just because you just got a Stetson scholarship doesn't mean, and it's not enough, doesn't mean that it's game over. There's scholarships, opportunities. There's websites like, like I think Scholarship Universe is one. There's different websites that you can go to and you could search scholarships where you just need to write an essay. Each and every one of you, I'm sure, has experiences that people in this country do not have, right? And this puts you at somewhat an advantage for some scholarships. There's scholarships out there for people that are left-handed, like me, right? There's scholarships for people who have, work experience. There's scholarships for people who have entrepreneurship attitude. There's different scholarships out there for you, not just the ones from Stetson. So I just want you guys to understand that and know that before anything else. Let's see. I'll answer the questions at the end here. And there's also another program called the Bonner program. Now, the Bonner program, there's 18 people who are accepted in total, right? And what you need for this one is an essay and application, so a Stetson application, and you need to show that you've done community service, right? So a lot of you have probably been involved with your local community, your church, all right? Remember that church counts as community service too. If you're going to a church, every Sunday and you're helping out with, fixing the church and talking to the younger people, I've spoken to a few that are involved in church and things like that, in music, and this counts as community service, especially if you're helping people in your neighborhood. So, so for this scholarship, there's two options based on EFC, which, based on your need. You can get a full scholar, so it's like full need, so whatever you need to cover the entire school experience, you'll get that. And then there's Bonner Leader, which is $1,000 plus work study, so you would also work. So the Bonner program is really good because you get to study, you get a scholarship, and at the same time, you get to get experience by working in the local community. Okay, so there's also other scholarships I didn't mention here. There's talent-based scholarships, like for people who are doing music, all right? So if you're a music person, you can get scholarships for that as well, all right? You just have to apply for them. So a place to visit to learn more about our scholarships is go to our scholarship page at stetson.edu, or you can just search Scholarship Stetson on Google and it should pop up, okay? All right, now, Vitor, I know that you received a scholarship coming out here. So can you tell me a little bit about that experience and how it happened? And can you tell me about, some of the students that you've met that maybe did not get a full scholarship but found other ways here?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got first the Global Citizenship Scholarship because I was getting to know Stetson, so I applied early action 2, and I got accepted. And later on, I applied to the global citizenship, and I got it. And it was actually one of the reasons that I came to Stetson because it was a scholarship that I could afford. And right now, I have three jobs on campus. I have the two leadership positions that I told you guys. I'm a focus leader and wise leader. And once I get back to campus, I'll be working in the World Office, which is the office that deals with the international students. So, work on campus is also a good way of complementing what you have as a scholarship. And that student that I told you that likes community-based services, and she's involved in a program. So she is very involved with that, and she gets like the Bonner Scholarship. And also, I have some friends from the sports. So I have Anna, which is a Brazilian. She's in the beach volleyball, and she received a full ride scholarship based just on athletic. So that is a good way. So Stetson has a lot of options, and you can complement that with other outside scholarships. So every single week, we received on the email like update of the global of the scholarship universe, which is a place that Stetson has a partnership. Like there is a website from Stetson students to look for outside scholarships. So it's very broad. You can find like a lot of different scholarships that you can apply for. So it's not the end if you don't get like a very high scholarship from Stetson. There is always other ways to fund it. You're
I was
muted.
speaking on mute again. I do it all the time. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Vitor, for that answer. I just want to make this known because I feel like I've during my time working here so far, a lot of people, they're going for that full scholarship, right? But if you look at where it says scholarship and program name here, you see these numbers next to each one. That's how many scholarships are available for each of these, right? And if you see a little squiggly line, that either means I don't know or a lot, right? So right here, merit scholarships, you have that squiggly line that says a lot, right? And I've been getting a lot of great application that get like almost the top of the merit scholarship, right? And when they hear, oh, well, this much is left in tuition, they give up, right? Don't give up. There's other ways of getting scholarships. Stetson, there's going to be a lot of universities in the United States that are going to give you some opportunities, but then they expect you to pay for everything else. But don't ever take that no for your final answer. Even though we cannot help you, you can go, just like you came to us and you found us, you can find another institution or another website or another resource to try to get those funds, right? To try to get the rest of that. So I hope that this cleared some things up about the scholarships here. I guess next is, for you to follow us here, and I'm going to open the floor up to questions. But before I do, I'm going to look in the chat here and see if I missed any questions. All right. So whoever applies without standard test can't apply for J. Ollie Edmond Scholarship then. Unfortunately, no. So the J. Ollie Edmond Scholarship is a scholarship that was it's a donor scholarship, meaning that there was this rich, very, very nice man and woman or family who gave this money to Stetson so that we can bring bright students. And part of their rules for this scholarship, for giving this money, is for the student to have done the SATs. So we do not control this. These are the terms of the scholarship. However, we do understand that, it's getting harder to take the SATs because of the COVID-19 and how it's affected all of us. So we are talking about it, but for now we're still, really considering that. So January 8th is if you already applied at Early Action 1, January 8th is the deadline to apply to finish your application for these scholarships, okay? All right, so when we talk about GPA 3.5 or above, I have some questions. it is the GPA that I have in college to continue to get the scholarship, or if it's the high school GPA. Okay, so we also have transfer scholarships. I didn't mention this. So if you're transferring in from a university, your merit scholarship amount, it's the like after 3.5 GPA, you get the highest scholarship, right, for the merit scholarship amount. Below that, it breaks down, right, into different amounts, which I can't really say. But so it depends. So we have a way of converting college transcripts for your admission, but for specific things, for specific reasons, like to transfer over classes, you will need to use a service to get each course evaluated and then approved so that we can transfer over your credits. And instead of you doing 4 full years, you can do maybe like 3, right? Or 2. So yeah, there's that question. All right. We talked yesterday, but I forgot. For Edmund's scholarship, you need 2 letters of recommendation to write. Could it be parents or relatives? No. It needs to be teachers or counselors. Your principal is a good one, headmaster, your coach, right? These types of people who have leadership roles on you. So how many students are these scholarships offered to? Once again, if you see the numbers here, like 3, 2, squiggly sign, 18, right? That's how many. Okay, I already answered that one. Is it possible to make a combination of scholarships like merit and athletic? For athletic, it's very different. You have to talk to your coach, and then we figure that out, but it could be up to full. It depends on your merit as well. So yes and no for athletic and merit. That's different. That's a different process. But let's say you got the merit scholarship and you got a smaller amount for a Bonner program, right? You cannot do that, right? So it's either or. But we have need-based. So need-based aid and merit aid are different types. So you can get both of those. There's also need-based aid with it, which I didn't mention here, and it can cover a little bit more. But those 2 put together, you can do. All right. Can I apply for more than 1 scholarship at the same time? Yes, you can. You can apply for multiple scholarships. I'm going to graduate from high school next year. So when is a good time to start the application process? So if you are applying, so let's say you're graduating from high school, because here we graduate around May. So if you're graduating in May, a good time to apply is now, because you would be coming into university fall of 2021. But let's say, it's by, some countries go by year. So let's say you're graduating next year, meaning December of 2021. Then you should start applying probably in March, April. You should start looking into that application for 2022, right? But it's never too early to start applying. The earlier you apply, the more time you have to find scholarships and resources, okay? All the merit scholarships require SATs. No, merit scholarships do not require SATs. Merit scholarships only require your application and CSS profile, okay? Does Stetson offer study abroad programs? Oh, that's one thing I didn't mention. Yes, our third value is global citizenship. So we do offer a lot of global, study abroad programs. All right, and does Stetson University offer exchange programs and opportunities? Yes, that's part of our study abroad. Yes, we do offer that. We even have a program that's like 10 days. It's almost like an internship for business majors where they go to Austria. All right, when's the scholarship deadline? January 8th to finish that application. I'm very unsure about essays. Could you give me some examples? So we don't like to limit you on your essays, okay? You could submit a graded paper. You could submit one of your SAT essays, all right? You could submit an essay about why you want to come to Stetson. You can submit some research. We've gotten an essay that's like 1 page long. We've gotten essays that were like 25 pages long. So we don't like to limit you on that. And yes, So if I didn't want to pursue need-based financial aid on the application, do I still have to send a CSS? So like I said before, we do need a CSS profile. It is kind of, required, but there's other ways. What I'm trying to say is it is more important for you to apply first. Just apply first, okay? You should want to do the CSS profile. We want you to do the CSS profile, but apply first, and then we can address the CSS profile issue later on if you don't know how to fill it out or if you can't fill it out. But try your best to fill it out, okay? Do you have programs for high school students, such as summer programs? We do have special programs. If you email me about these special summer programs, I can connect you with people who are in charge of that. It is not me. I would partially be helping you out for like the visa purposes and things like that, but it's not me for sure. All right, guys. So I see that there's no more questions on the chat exactly, but what I want you guys to do is instead of writing the questions down, get on here and speak. Introduce yourself. All right. I don't want to be the only one talking. Okay. What's my email? I'm going to write that down. eediaz@stetson.edu. All right. I do get a lot of emails, so it might take me a few days to answer you back. Okay. All right. So anybody who has any questions, feel free to talk. Now's a good time to talk. And if you don't have any questions and you want to chat, you just want to chat, that's fine too. What kind of things interest you about Stetson? What did you like about this presentation? Tell me. Anybody? All right. Okay. Feel free to write down more questions on the chat and I will answer them as best as I can.
Hi, Eli. Okay, so hi, everyone. My name is Noelia.
Noelia! Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm from Peru. Basically, I wanted to ask you, Eli, if the Global Citizenship Scholarship is the same, has the same deadline as the other ones, because I saw on the website that it's on March, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so this year, thank you for telling me that, because now I have to yell.
I had the question.
Okay, so yeah, I have to yell at the technical department now because I think that is the date for last year. So all special program and scholarship deadlines are January 8th, okay? So you should be a admitted student already. So you should have applied to early action 1, stuff like that, okay? Or early decision. All right. Any more questions, Noelia? I think, did you have another one?
I don't have, but thank you for the presentation. It was really good. Thank you, Vitor. Thank you, Eli. It was really, really good.
No problem. I know that we're over time here, guys. If you guys want to log out, that's fine. I'm going to stay here. Vitor, if you need to log out, let me know. You could say some final words and that's it. But I'm going to stay here and chill out for a while.
I can stay here.
Okay, cool. I'm going to hang out here. I have nothing better to do. It's Saturday. Let me see. It looks really gray outside right now, so I don't want to go outside yet. But yeah, so here we go. Does Stetson offer program related to pre-medicine? Yes, we have a program called pre-health. Okay, and the pre-health program is a program that kind of gives you courses that will prepare you to go into medical school, right? So in the U.S., and I personally don't like this, but this is how it works in the U.S. In the U.S., you don't get your bachelor's degree in medicine or doctorship. You don't do that. You have to first study biology, chemistry, sciences, whatever, and then you get into medical school afterwards, okay? So we do have a pre-health program that will help you get into medical school here in Florida, which we have really good ones here. May I know when will I get the acceptance announcement for fall of 2021 application? So if you applied early action 1 or early decision, your applications are being reviewed right now. we are working very, very hard to review them. It's been a lot of applications. So you should be getting your answers by around the middle of December to before Christmas, okay? Does Stetson have a drama and theater club? Vitor, do you know about the drama and theater club at Stetson at all?
I believe we have, because I have a friend who doesn't study theater, and she participates in a lot of plays, and it's very fun to watch. If you are a Stetson student, you can watch it for free. So yes, and I'll put in the chat the link that you can find every organizations or clubs on campus.
Okay, good, thank you. So if I can only take online classes in the spring because of COVID-19, may I ask if the music is also face-to-face? So I'm gonna, thank you for bringing this up because this is a big concern for everyone. You know, we're all going through COVID-19 problems right now. You know, the entire world, especially South America and the US, we're really, really taking it hard. But, you know, I feel like things are going to get better. But in order to keep everyone safe this past year and continuing on to the spring, we've had to change a lot of things. So we've had, you know, some international students will be coming in face-to-face. And mind you, if you're coming in for face-to-face classes, you will get a visa, you will have to do room and board and all of that. But for some students, we are offering online, like Vitor is taking online courses, right? So I think the person who asked this question is applying to be a music student, right? Right now, we're catering the classes so that they can be online. If you can be, if next semester you are coming in online, I don't exactly know which classes for music they're gonna do face-to-face and which classes they're gonna do online. I do think that some of the classes they will be doing online, but that you have to speak, once you're through and you speak to the academic advisor, you can talk to them about that. Now, let's say, for example, you're coming in for the spring and you decide to do just the spring for online. You can do that. You can take classes in the spring online for just, you know, basic like English and math classes and all the classes that you need for general education. And then once you come here, you can decide to come here. Let's say things get better in the summer, right? You can come here in the summer and you can start taking music courses, and then the fall and start taking music courses. So unfortunately, because of the situation, it's a little bit, it's not like normal. Like normally you would come in face-to-face, right? But it's not normal like that. So I hope that answered some of your questions. You can, me and you are gonna have to talk about this with the music department once you go through the process, and we can plan out your classes for next semester, okay? So thank you for asking that. So does Stetson have a club involving dance and ballet? Vitor, do you know about this?
I believe so. Like, we have a lot of clubs, and always if you don't find something, you can always create it. So yeah, but I send the link with all student organizations and clubs because there is a lot, like more than 100.
So does Stetson have neuroscience as a minor or only as a major? I'm not too sure we have it as a minor, but if it's a major, you can definitely create that as a minor. It just depends on which classes you end up taking, because a minor is something that you tack on to your degree or your major. And it depends, you have to take like 18 credits of a certain degree in order to get that minor. 18 credits is, I think it's 6 or 7 classes, right? Sometimes it's less if you're taking labs. If you're taking labs, it's more like 5 or 4. But yes, the Stetson offer work on campus. We encourage our students to work on campus, especially international students, because you get that, you know, experience working in the United States while you're here. And you get to earn a tiny bit of money to go and buy yourself some pizza or, you know, go out dancing sometimes. All right. On the website, I saw something about a ballet club. All right. Nice. right. So,
Hey.
hey, how are you?
I'm good. I have one question. It's
Yes.
about the merit scholarship and the need scholarship. Like I can see right now that to apply to get a merit scholarship, we need to submit the CSS profile. But the need scholarship as well, or it's different.
Okay. Can you say that again? Can you repeat that question so I understand?
The merit scholarship, the requirement for the merit scholarship is submit the CSS profile, right?
Yes.
So to get the need scholarship, to have a financial aid, like the need, is the same. Like we need to send the CSS profile, right?
Yes.
But it's like it's the same or it's different.
So
the scholarships.
Is the CSS profile the same or different for need-based and merit-based scholarships? No, you have to do it 4 times, 3 times. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. So the reason why we ask you to do the CSS profile is so that we can assess your qualifications for need-based aid at the same time as we assess for merit. Because before, when people were applying, we said, okay, you get this much for merit. Do the CSS profile if you want to get need. So now we don't want to make this a 2-part thing. There's no reason why it should be a 2-part thing. So what we do is that we assess, before we assess your merit aid, we ask you to do a CSS profile so we could do both in one bang. But it's 2 separate things, okay? Need-based aid is going to be separate from merit. You're not doing the CSS profile with it to get this one big thing. You're getting it to get both, right?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Eli, I have another question.
Yes.
So, as you mentioned, church counts for community service. If I apply to the Boner program scholarships, like, do I need to certify again? Because I already submitted for my admissions a letter of recommendation from the head of my church saying that I did community service. So
yeah, we know that. So what you do, I think one of the things that you need for your Bonner scholarship, and even if it doesn't ask for it, I think that you should do this anyways. It's just my suggestion. Not as a Stetson recruiter, but as a person if you were applying for some sort of program that needs you to have some work experience, resume.
okay.
Yes, your resume, make sure it is listed it's noted on your essay for the Bonner program. Make sure it's noted on your letter of recommendation for the Bonner program. I think they asked for one, I'm not sure. But I think they asked for a resume for sure. So make sure it's on there. So when will you get the acceptance announcement?
I applied for early action.
Yeah, so that would be like the middle of next month.
Yeah.
And then you have until January 8th to finish your scholarship. Okay, good. All right, anybody else? There's a question here. Does Stetson have international transfer orientation?
So we have the international orientation for all international students. It's before the focus orientation, which is the orientation for all first-year students. But so as we are international, we arrive on campus 1 week before. So we have this international orientation. Then we have the orientation week with all the first-year students, but there is also the transfer. So I was a focus orientation leader. So there is a group of students who are transferring, and the focus leader is a transfer, so they can better speak about it and to make you feel part of the campus, the community. So there's this 2 period before starting classes. So even in the orientation week, you start to have like a lot of activities to get to know new people and to make connections, and also to have your first classes.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that, Vitor. All right. Good. Yeah, Vitor's a focused leader, so you might be seeing him in orientation if you're coming through. That's good. All right.
Hi. Hi.
Hello, Giovana Oliveira. Ok.
Tudo bem?
Tudo bem com eu. E você?
Tudo bem.
Legal, legal.
I have a question.
Yes.
As you mentioned that church is considered community service, I'd like to know if to be considered community service, in my case, do I have to do this during all the high school years? Because I used to be involved in it, but this year I'm not so involved with it anymore.
So we consider it as far as hours. And when I say church is community service, I don't mean that going to church every Sunday.
No, I was in a group like of people, and we were debating about it.
So let's say, for example, like I went to church and I personally did community service, but my church, we would meet up on Saturdays. Actually, I'm supposed to be in church now, but we would meet up on Saturdays, right? And we would, after we went to church, we would go to the hospital, right? And talk to people and do things like this. Or we would go to the local community center. We would help give them food. We would go volunteer and do different things, go to the nursing home, talk to older people, right? So doing or collecting, one thing that we used to do almost every Saturday is we used to go to houses and collect food so that we could give it to, you know, other people. So this kind of stuff is, even though you're doing it with church, it is community service, right? Going and educating people in poor neighborhoods about things, right? This is community service, even though you're doing it with church, even though you're doing it, you know, for trying to bring more people into your church, you're doing something for the community, right? So by church is community service, that's what I mean. Now, here's another thing. This is not community service, but this is activity or life or work experience. Let's say you're in church and you sing at church, you play instruments at church, you practice in a youth club, you do a praça, it's like you do plays at church, right? If you do any of these things, this is called activity experience, right? So you would write this down on your application, and this actually counts. We consider activity experience as something good. So it goes on your application, actually contributes to you getting merit scholarships. It contributes to a lot of different things. So if you actually have experience at church, you know, doing different things, that counts towards that. Community service, you have experience at church, doing good things for the community, that's community service. All right, so I just wanted to let you guys know what the difference is there. Just because you go to church doesn't mean you're gonna get into the Bonner program. You have to also go to church and do things in the community, or just do things in the community in general. It doesn't have to be church. All right?
All right, thank you. Obrigada.
Obrigado. Keep going. Okay. Anybody else?
I have a question about business college. And by the way, hello.
Who's speaking there?
It's João.
Oh, it's Joe. Okay, hi. Okay, good. So go ahead, ask your question.
Are there like business events for business students that is something special in Stetson?
Okay, ooh, good. I'm so happy you asked that question. There's some cool stuff going on with the business people, with the business department. There's a sales club and entrepreneurship program at Stetson. And recently, actually, I met this guy. He helps us. He's a student ambassador, and he was a biology major. Didn't have anything to do with business, right? And he found out that he's pre-medicine person, so he was studying pre-medicine. He found out that in order to inject this vitamin that he was doing research on, there was no syringe. It's like the injection. There was no injection tool that was able to do that for him, right? So he created his own injection tool, and Stetson found out about his research, right? people in Stetson University, and they said, you should connect with the Entrepreneurship Club, right? So he joined the Entrepreneurship Club. It's like a club and a program. It's also like a major. And they helped him create the marketing content and the presentation, and they helped him train in the skills so that he could sell this syringe, he could sell this injection to hospitals, and he can patent it. He owns it, right? So this kid didn't even graduate yet. He's like in his second year. He already created his own medical product, and the university entrepreneurship, program is helping him promote it. So there is, and now he joined the entrepreneurship program. So he has 2 majors now. He's doing like medicine and he's doing business. So there's programs like that. There's also the JRPI program, the George Rowland Investment Program. So basically we select 10 students every year, and there's about a $4 million portfolio that they get, and they look at the US stock market, and they invest money in it. So this is a special program for select students that could do that. So another thing is, in our business degrees, in order to graduate with any degree from the College of Business Administration, you need 2 ERPs. So you need to either do internship, research, one of those. You need to do two of those things in order to graduate from the College of Business. So this is something that's special about our school, and this is something that will prepare you for the real world, the business world, because you have to have experience before you leave college. Unlike my school, where they were just like, oh yeah, you finished your classes, good job, yeah, bye, right? So it's good to have internships and these kinds of experiences before you leave. And Stetson gives you the opportunity to do that. All right, good. Anybody else?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello, I have one more question. What's the deadline for burner program?
The deadline to apply for all special programs and scholarships is January 8th, right? But you have to already have applied to Stetson University, right?
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Eli.
Hello.
Nice to meet you face-to-face online.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. I got you on email.
Hi, Vitor. Hi, everyone. I submitted my Common App early action, but I didn't submit my the optional essay. Is it possible to submit now after the deadline?
Submit it like yesterday. Submit it. Like now.
Okay. Okay.
I'll make sure. Don't say anything. It's a secret.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. It was amazing.
No problem. All right. Anything else, guys? Anything? Don't be shy. It's okay. We're not going to eat you. All right. All right. So I guess since this is the end, we'll finish it there. Like, okay, so there's 2 emails that you guys can email so what I do want to say is, for general questions, email international@stetson.edu, right? If you're going to submit things, for other applications or, things like that, international@stetson.edu is good. My email is also okay, but I'm a little slow with my email, international@stetson.edu. We have a big, another team of people who can help you. Okay, so you might get your questions answered a little bit faster. All right. What would be the best way to enter the medical course or the pre-medicine? So you apply for the pre-health major. So when you get to choose your major, you apply for pre-health. If you applied for a different major and you want to change it to pre-health, just email international@stetson.edu and say, I want to be pre-health. And we will make a ticket for you with our technological department, and they will change that for you. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, Julia. You're awesome. All right. Yeah. So anybody else have any questions? Anybody have anything they want to talk about? Any comments? Okay.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for this amazing presentation that opened my eyes for another options that I may have in the future. There's still 2 years left for my application, but I'm already researching, and Stetson really, you and Stetson really opened my eyes for these options that I may have, and I just wanted to thank you. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Larissa. Thank you for coming. And you said you had 2 years left, and I think it's awesome that you're getting ahead. I think it's really important to plan ahead, and this, you know, when you plan ahead, it's not a question of if, it's only a question of what I need to do to get there, or how, right? So with enough preparation and time, you know, you can plan ahead to try to take away the obstacles that can stop you from realizing your goal. So it's great that you're doing this. All right. Anything else? Any other comments or stories or anything? What are you guys doing for the rest of the weekend? I know that a lot of us are on lockdown. Yeah, we're a little bit on lockdown too, but not too much because it's Florida and people are kind of crazy here. But yeah, surfing tomorrow, says Rodrigo. Nice. So where do you live, Rodrigo? Where do you surf at?
Fortaleza.
Fortaleza.
Beach Park. You know Beach
Fortaleza is
Park?
in the north. It's in the north, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nordeste. Yeah.
Noreste. Yeah.
Do you know Beach Park?
No, I don't know.
No. Bad.
So I just know, I know Bahia, Recife,
Yeah.
all those cities. They're kind of in the
Beach Park. Search for Beach Park. Yes.
Beach Park.
It's amazing, man. Come to Fortaleza and surf with me.
Yeah, that's
It'll be
cool.
good.
Yeah, I would love to. I can't wait to visit Brazil. I would love to visit Brazil.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, guys? Wrapping up my school year because I'm about to graduate. Yes. Noelia, you're a super hard worker, so I know that.
I have one more question, Eli.
Yes, man.
I applied for the biology program, but I'm not sure if I'm not sure if there was actually the connection between biology and pre-health, because I want to study medicine as well. So I don't know if I can change that now, to pre-health, or does it really matter? Can I get into the pre-health program being a biology major?
So it's so a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to apply to be a computer science major, and since I applied for that, if I change my major, it's gonna rewire my whole application. That's not how it works. You can change to pre-health if you want it right now, but the difference that it's going to make on your application is nothing. It won't make a difference. We accept you as a person or student first, and then, you know, once you're here, you could change your major if you want to. So it just depends. If you want me to talk to our IT department and change your major, I could totally do that for you, and it's fine. It's not going to change your application, right? And I suggest that, because this is a decision that you're making now after hearing about the pre-health program, think about it well first. Wait till you get to through the whole application process, because that's what's most important right now. And then once you're talking to your academic advisor, which is going to happen, let's say you get accepted, everything goes well, probably around June, you're going to be talking to your academic advisor. Talk about programs then, and they could change your major like this. All right, cool. Yes. Anything else? I like this. I like how there's 23 of us who are still standing. Yeah, it's good. We can talk about anything. We don't have to talk about Stetson and school. Just let me know. Ah, Tianchen. What time is it in China right now, man? It's like, what? It's like midnight? Yeah, it's 1:55 a.m. Wow, Tianchen is a trooper. He's brave, staying up so early. He's committed to Stetson. That's good. I like it. I like it. All right. Yeah, are you playing games, Tianchen, out there? Listen, Tianchen lives in Shanghai. If anybody's been to Shanghai, it is an amazing city. I lived in China for 6 years, and I used to go to Shanghai all the time. It is awesome. It is awesome. So I'm a little jealous of Tianchen for living out there.
Hey, Eli.
Yay.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak about 3.5. You could say 3.5 maybe, because
Oh, it works. I don't know.
I don't know how it works either, but I speak Spanish, English, Portuguese, somewhat. It's like portuñol. Like sometimes I'll be speaking Portuguese, and then if I don't know the word, I'll just say it in Spanish, and they understand me anyways. You know. Sometimes I speak like I'm in the streets, like Portuguese, because that's how I learned from other capoeiristas, and capoeiristas don't really speak the formal Portuguese. They're kind of like, you know, out there. And I speak Mandarin, Chinese. Right, but not so well. Only enough to like communicate efficiently, like to talk to taxi drivers, restaurant owners.
I speak English just for communication as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but your English is good, man. Your English is good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My
One
TOEFL doesn't say this, you know.
Yeah, I know. That testing can be pretty rough. I know. Like I said, guys, you know, we have TOEFL and IELTS and Duolingo. You know, some people tend to prefer Duolingo. It's cheaper. It can be a little bit less intense than TOEFL and things like that. Yeah, your English is really good, Rodrigo.
Thank you. No idea.
And, you know, I like to tell people that whenever you speak a language, you're borrowing something from a culture to communicate with that culture. So quite often, whenever you speak a new language or a different language, if you focus more on understanding the people and the culture and less on the actual rules, you know, of the language, unless of course you have to do English classes, that's different. But you tend to sound more fluent, right? So my Portuguese, I never studied. I never went to school for Portuguese, but I copy whenever I hear little things, right? So for example, the town of Fortaleza, right? Normally I would say Fortaleza, but Brazilians, especially people from Fortaleza, they like to kind of stretch it a little bit. So I copy however they say it, and I do the same thing, and I remember that. So it sounds like, you know, I'm Brazilian, you know, for my Brazilian Portuguese is really good. So I just copy things like a baby.
But it is.
Yeah, it is that way. Oh, you're talking about my language skills? No, I'm not that good. Your English is good. I live in China, but I work the same as in the U.S. Oh, you work like during nighttime. Oh, wow. That's a lot of hours up, man. You're brave. Yeah, I love copying accents too. Yeah, you got to be careful though, because when I was younger, I used to learn Japanese, and I used to try to copy the accents in Japanese anime, and that's not how people speak in Japan. And so I sounded super emotional, and they were, you know, what is this big American man doing, speaking like a little anime girl, you know? Yeah. Anime is getting really popular. Guys, you don't have to stay here. We're just talking and relaxing. So if you guys want to head out, that's okay with me. I'm just here to answer random questions that pop up and just talk to people. So feel free to talk and chat and, you know, anything like that. Same thing with you, Vitor. I don't know if Vitor's still here or not, but you can leave at any time. I know you have work to do. Yeah.
I have to rest because of the
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah, go get some
But I'm
rest.
resting. Like, I'm just here.
It's okay. Yeah, so Vitor is a survivor of an accident, a recent accident. So I'm wishing him well, and I hope he gets better.
Are you better?
I mean, my bones are broken, but I'm okay. Like, this part here I can't use, like my left arm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. He's taking the pain very well.
That's true. I forget it.
All right. Anybody else?
Well, at the beginning, like you say that you have seen some of the faces of any people here, of some people here, but how can I know when have this kind of like meeting?
So, how can you communicate with people? Is that what you're saying? Like from Stetson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you email me, or if you emailed me before, if you look at my signature on the bottom, it has a link and it says schedule a call with me, right? If you press that link, it'll go to a calendar and you could select a day to book me. So for that day, for that time, we can chat, okay? About any questions and things like that.
That's
it tends to be a lot better than emails, to be honest, because see, with emails, you write down one question and I try my best to answer it. And then let's say you have another question. So it's just back and forth, right? When you're talking to someone, we'll say, okay, what are your problems? You say, my problem is 1, 2, 3. And then I solve 1, 2, 3, and then we're good for like 3 weeks, so talking is a little bit easier sometimes. So that's how you can talk to me if you want.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay, good. So now it's rest time, right? Yeah, go ahead and rest. Tiancheng, it's okay. 你休息吧。如果在那边太晚了，真的。你休息。Okay. So I'm very happy that we have Tiancheng here, though. That was awesome. It's good to have people from all over the world. Let's see who else is here. Most people here are from Brazil. That's awesome. Or Latin America. Anybody else from somewhere else here? So we have people from Brazil. We have people from Peru. We have somebody from China. And anybody coming in from any other place? There were girls from Russia. I don't know if anybody's left from Russia. Privet Ruski. Я не знаю русский. Like I don't know Russian. So yes, the only Peruvian here. I love Peruvian food though. Honestly, if you guys have never had Peruvian food, you need to try it. It is the best. I think,
Yes.
Latin American food is up there. Yes. Yeah. But Peruvian food is amazing. They have many types. So what happened with Peru is I think during like the middle of the 1900s, a lot of people from all over the world kind of went to Peru, specifically Japanese and Chinese people, right? So they're called Nikkei. Nikkei is like the Japanese second generation. So these Japanese people started using Peruvian and Amazon ingredients to make their own food. And years later, we have, Peruvian Nikkei food, and it is epic. It is amazing. I can't describe how good that kind of food is. Also, Amazonian, like general Amazonian Peruvian food is really good. Like papas a la huancaína, that stuff. Oh my God, it's this potato with this cheesy pepper sauce on top. It is so good. And if we're on the topic of food, all right, Brazilian food's pretty good too. Muqueca. Muqueca is Dominicans make similar food to we have very similar food to like northern Brazilian people. When we make something called pescado con coco, it's peixe com coco, which is muqueca, right? It's the same thing. But you guys make it so different because you use dendê oil, right? You use like palm oil. So, yeah.
Brazilian black beans.
Brazilian black beans are good. Feijoada. Feijoada. Feijão.
Baião.
Pão de queijo.
Pão de queijo. Yeah, if you're from Belo Horizonte, yeah, pão de queijo.
Minas in general.
Which one?
Minas in general.
Minas Gerais in general, the whole region. Yeah. Yes, yeah. All right, that's awesome. You know, my first crush, the first girl I ever liked, it was because she made pão de queijo, and after she made the pão de queijo, my eyes opened to how beautiful she was. So, yeah. Pão de queijo changes lives.
Yeah, I'm planning to open a Brazilian club at Stetson to bring food. Yeah, and I'm from Minas Gerais also, so pão de queijo.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, Minas Gerais.
She said, Larissa said, brigadeiros are my religion. That's
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
For all the Brazilians, brigadeiro is life.
Yeah, brigadeiro is life. Oh, with a nice coffee on the side. Oh, so good. So good. We have brigadeiros, we have dulce de leche, which is similar, but brigadeiros it's like on a whole other level. It takes dulce de leche and it just does this. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, dulce de leche is also common here, but it's better like brigadeiro. Brigadeiro is better.
Yeah, brigadeiros are much better.
Someone, Noelle is asking about what is brigadeiro. It's just like condensed milk with chocolate powder. And yeah, it's something very simple, but no one in the US does that. That's crazy.
It's so easy to make. You just mix it, and then you take the spoon, you go boop, and that's it. You put it in the oven.
Yeah, it's so simple. Like, but it's so Brazilian.
Yeah, so it's condensed milk, and then you put
chocolate. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. But you can put like I don't know the names, but small chocolate.
It's like the little chocolate pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, and like it's so easy. It's such a simple thing to do, but it's incredible. It's incredible how it tastes. Yeah. What else?
Noelle, do you know any Peruvian from? I know a Peruvian at Stetson.
No,
she's a friend of mine.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. There's a few Latinos all over.
I have. Well, my cousin was an alumni. Well, is an alumni. She already finished. She was class of 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
I know
so
one.
I don't know if you.
Name. But she was a freshman when I got it.
Oh, I see.
Nice.
I've actually tried brigadeiros. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. I cannot speak Portuguese, but I think I have because I had one of my best friends has her stepmom is Brazilian. So I once had this it's trufas, like truffles with chocolate. Yes, I've tried them. They're amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love them.
Yeah. So Tian Chung says we should go to Shanghai so he could take us to eat Chinese food. Listen, guys, the Chinese food that we have outside of China and in China, well, maybe Peru might be really good, but it is totally different. It is so different. It's so good because China's a big country, like Brazil or like here. They have every region. Because China's a 4,000 plus year old country. So every region has a different type of food that's completely opposite of every other region. So you have Sichuan food, which is super spicy and really good. And you have Shanghai type food, which is soupy, sweet, and sour and things like that. And it's so good. So tiancheng, one of my favorite dishes from China. I don't know if you know this one, tiancheng. You can put it on the chat, but it's liangpi. Liangpi is it's these cold noodles made with, it's made with the starch of wheat. So it's not white, it's clear. They're almost clear noodles, and they're very light. And they take these noodles and they make them into these big circles, right? And they cut them up into noodles, right? And then they put vinegar, sesame oil on them, and a little bit of soy sauce and chili oil, and you mix it up and you put an egg that's almost cooked, like half cooked, and then the egg runs on it, and it's perfection. It's so good. Yeah, it's from Xi'an. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's such a good dish. But yeah, Chinese food, a lot of good stuff with Chinese food. You guys have never had the real stuff. All right, we're on the topic of food. Anybody else have anything interesting from their country?
Are there Brazilian restaurants near Stetson?
Vitor might be able to answer that.
Not at Stetson, but you can get some food like delivery. So I had coxinha and a lot of things, because there's a Brazilian professor at Stetson, and she promotes some events. And because we are planning to create this club, but she's promoting these events. We had one about memes, Brazilian memes. It was very fun. But we had some Brazilian food, like from Orlando. They delivered to Stetson. So that's good. But there's a lot of restaurants in Orlando. Orlando is crazy. Like, I see a lot of Portuguese. So,
huge with Brazilian and Portuguese.
yes.
Yeah. Vitor, have you ever had, I think it's called Vitorios? It's like a buffet. I don't know, because I haven't eaten. When I was used to live in Orlando 13 years ago, then I moved out, 10 years ago. Then I moved to Boston, then I moved to China, and now I'm back. But I used to go to this Brazilian restaurant called Vitorios on the west side, like southwest side of Orlando. It was a buffet. So good. Like a Brazilian buffet.
No.
Have you
Already been there.
you've been there?
Yeah.
So you've been to Orlando and you went there.
Yeah.
That's so
to
cool.
Orlando, and I eat Brazilian food there.
That's so cool. You see? Yeah. So
Done the same thing with Peruvian food. Like,
same thing with Peru.
I went to this place called Gaviotas. I mean, I don't have anything against American food, but if you compare like American food to my Peruvian food, in my opinion, I prefer my Peruvian food.
All right. Yeah, Jiao needs to go, so it's okay. You can go, man. Yeah. So the cool thing about Orlando, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, is that Orlando's itself, the land maybe not so much, but Orlando itself is a pretty diverse city. And it is I think about 46% of the people living in Orlando are Latinos. So Brazilians, people from all over Latin America. So you're going to find Venezuelan food, Colombian food, Peruvian food, Dominican food. Like we have something called Pollo Tropical, which is like, it's like a Latino McDonald's. All right. So imagine you go into McDonald's and they have rice and beans. and chicken, like that's what it is. So it's like Latino fast food. We have a Peruvian restaurant that's like fast food. It's called La Granja, and oh my God, it is so good. I haven't eaten chicken in 13 years, but I still remember the taste of the chicken I had from this Peruvian restaurant. It's so good. Yeah. So there's definitely, being at Stetson, you may not be surrounded by too many people that are going to be Latino or too much diversity. There's still some, but the minute that you get to Orlando, it's going to hit you in your face. There's going to be a lot going on, a lot of diversity. All right. All right. Any questions about Orlando or things to do here? You know, anything that you're curious about? You can go ahead and ask. I'll probably end in the next 5 minutes or so, though, because
I want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I have lived at Stetson like for 5 months, I believe, because I had to come early, and I still find some things that I don't know inside the campus. So I found this place in the library that, like, when I was coming, like, I didn't know about one part. So even if you are there, you have a lot to discover, some hidden places. So yeah, that was crazy. Like, I thought I knew everything about the library because I spent a lot of time there. But I found the place like after 5 months.
That's pretty cool. You get the little hidden secrets inside the school. That's
Yes.
pretty awesome. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm starving. I gotta go eat. So I think
Me too.
Rodrigo's just trying to go surf.
It's
He's like,
Brigadeiro. Vitor, can you, like, I don't know, present them? Brigadeiro.
Prepare it.
Yeah, Vitor.
Yeah, it's even hard to find condensed milk in the U.S. Like in Dollar Tree, you can get it for it's $1. Everything there, but yeah, some just in parts like Latin American food you can find it, but it's not that easy.
leche condensada. Noelia, that's leche condensada.
And chocolate.
Leche condensada. It's
Con
so
chocolate
good.
mezclado, entonces se pone en el horno.
Yeah.
Qué rico.
Muy rico, seguro.
All right, that's
I
good.
hope we all get in so then we can meet and eat the food from Brazil.
I hope so too. I really need to learn Portuguese. I would really love to.
You could learn pretty quickly, you know, if you take the time, and you just can't be afraid of making mistakes because you will. Some of the words are so similar to Spanish. You'll just say the word in Spanish, or you just keep going. You just have to keep going.
Yo
I can
aprendí
just
español
watch.
en 4 meses.
No, you go first.
Yo aprendí español con una profesora de Stetson en 4 meses. Y creo que hablo muy bien, como
Sí.
estoy aprendiendo, pero es muy bueno porque Stetson tiene muchas personas para hablar y compartir de experiencias y de culturas.
Sí, hablas muy bien, Víctor.
Gracias.
Y también yo, cuando estoy hablando en español, cuando no sé una palabra, solo pongo el acento en español. Una palabra en portugués con acento en español y vale.
Ay, sí.
Leticia, you speak perfect Spanish. What?
No
Exacto.
way, no.
What? What's going on? Victor too. Like you guys, geez.
I
See,
don't.
that's I was always jealous of that because like Brazilians can speak really good
It's
Spanish.
easier for us, I think.
Yeah,
It's easier for us.
you use for Portuguese. You have more muscles that you use to speak. I noticed
Sí.
that. Like, there's
Sí.
sometimes I can't say certain things the way that Portuguese say it, and with this sound, you guys have many stops. Like if I say Curitiba, right? We don't have this way of speaking in this muscle usage in Spanish. So we have to develop it, and it takes time. And a lot of people who speak Spanish, they're always surrounded by more countries that speak Spanish. So for us to have to change our tone to say something that we could just say in Spanish, it's like, what? Well, why would I do that? So a lot of people who speak Spanish learning Portuguese, they end up kind of giving up in that way or getting a little bit lazier. But I had no choice. I had to learn because I had a very, very rough capoeira teacher. Você vai falar português hoje. Yeah. So I had to learn. All right. Okay.
These things about this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
This
Go ahead.
things about accent is really funny because when we are saying something in English, we don't realize it, but some people realize it. And for for you when we are speaking Portuguese, we realize it. But it's really like we don't judge you. It's just really fun to hear the accents. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really good actually.
Thank you. No, but I'm sure in Chinese I have a weird, right, Tianchen?
Yeah.
我有一个老外口音，对吗？
No, it's really traditional Chinese.
Oh, you're so flattering, Tianchen. Yeah, my accent sounds like really like foreign person accent. There's certain ways that I say words because Chinese goes by tones, right? So
Yeah,
if you
right.
you could say like, for example, mama, right?
Yeah.
So which is mom. You could say it many different ways, like ma, yeah, and like.
Yeah, but maybe you say ma, it means mom. You say ma, it maybe means horse.
Yeah, 我喜欢我的妈. Like, so I just said, instead of like saying I like my mom, I said I like my horse, right? So it's really, yeah, it can get confusing there. Like most of the time people understand you, but I've had some situations where I go into a taxi. I go into a taxi and I talk to the taxi driver and ask him to take me here. And he goes, 你说什么？什么意思? Like, what did you just say? Like, what? And I have to repeat myself 4 times or 3 times to the taxi. The same thing. So I remember I was in a taxi with my brother, and he's like, Eli, you keep repeating the same thing to this man. Like, I don't understand Chinese, but you keep telling him the same thing. He doesn't understand you, and I have to repeat it in every single tone until he gets it. That's what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe in Chinese, one word have many different meanings.
Yeah. It could be dangerous too, because like the word pen, the word for pen. How do you say pen in Chinese?
Pen is P-N, right?
Yeah, P-E-N.
P-N maybe 钢笔.
So you see like that last part of pen, 钢笔, right? If you say it the wrong way, it could be.
I got it.
Yeah, you understand? It could be something really bad. Like it's something really bad to, it's a female thing. So it's not good to say that. And also like in China, the language has changed over some years. Like, the younger generation, like the older generation, if you were talking to a woman, that's your age, you would say, like, oh, big sister, or like sister, like 小姐, right? Right. But the thing with the problem. Yeah. So in some countries too, like Taiwan, they speak slightly different Chinese. You can call, when you call a girl that you don't know, you say, hey, sister, like 小姐. But you can't say that in modern Chinese because it means a whole different thing. It's very offensive to a woman. So for some older generation, calling someone like, hey, sister, it might be okay, but for the younger generation, it means something totally different. So
yeah, maybe some females listen 小姐, they were very angry about it.
Yeah, they would be pretty.
Maybe sometimes it's a very bad word to talk to a woman.
Yeah, it's pretty bad nowadays. Yeah. But yeah, I was reading a book where someone says, "Oh, 小姐," and they were referring to like talking to another girl that was their age, like a sister. Nothing very bad. But yeah, those are just some cultural differences there. I really like China. China was super awesome. Yeah, some native Chinese people misunderstand each other. So Noelia said that. So from my experience in China, and Tianchen, you can say what because you're from China. So China's a big place with a lot of history, and even though the language of the people, right, is Mandarin Chinese, every city and sometimes every region, they speak a different dialect, and sometimes that dialect is completely different, right? So 普通话, which is like what we know as Mandarin Chinese, is what the government and the people have deemed as the common language. But then you have other little languages, like, for example, Tiancheng, you might have heard of this one, but 温州话, right? Which is completely different, right? Yeah,
For
it's
example,
yeah.
I think the best example may be the 广东话.
Guangdonghua, yeah. Another
Yeah.
example is Cantonese. So whenever you watch, you see people from Hong Kong, or actually most Chinese that go to like Latin America or are in America, they speak Cantonese. They don't speak Mandarin. So the Chinese that we're used to hearing might not be the same that they speak in the actual, mainland country. So yeah, it's a whole different language too. Like I can't understand Cantonese. My friends bring me to the restaurant. They're like, "Oh, speak with the waiter." And I speak to the waiter and they're like speaking Cantonese. And I'm like, "No, do you speak Mandarin?" And they go, "A little bit, but not so much." Yeah. So, yeah. Tiancheng, do you want to learn Spanish or Portuguese? Because over here you might end up learning.
Maybe I would choose Spanish.
Yeah, probably Spanish. It's gonna be pretty easy for you guys to pick up Spanish. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking people here. Yeah.
Also in Brazil, in each region of Brazil, we misunderstand. Like there are some words that are so different. Like we use in Minas Gerais, we use train, the word train, which is trem for anything. That's a thing. That's
What?
a train. That's a train.
That's a train. So like anything that's good, it's like, yo, that's a train. If it's hard, that's a train. Right?
Oh, that train.
Yeah.
So some people don't know it. So that's really funny.
Yeah, no, see, so out of all of the Spanish-speaking countries, right, there's a level of country that people understand. So if you're usually from the region of, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, too, and, Ecuador, you speak really clear Spanish, like Spanish that is universal, that universally people can speak, or, can understand, right? It's like the way that Noelia speaks, to me, sounds super fancy, right? Now, Dominicans, our people, we don't speak that way. We are what we say tirao. Tirao is like just when you throw something, like when you just have like a bunch of like toys in your hand and you just like, here you go, and you just throw them. That's how our Spanish sounds like. So we use words like vaina, which it has no meaning. So if I say like, dame esa vaina que está ahí, I say like, give me that thing. It means thing. It means nothing. We have like sayings that make no sense to people. Like, like we have a saying that says, le estás buscando las siete patas al gato, which means like, you're looking for 7 legs on a cat. It means like, when someone asks you too many questions about something that's very simple, you're looking for the 7 legs of a cat. It makes no sense. But we say this in everyday language, and it makes other people who speak Spanish very confused and entertained by the way we speak. And that's why our people like our music, because it's just the way that we speak Spanish and describe situations is just very unique and strange. Yeah. So
we have similar things here in Peru. Actually, like when we speak, we have a really clear like way of speaking Spanish, I guess. But when we speak like among Peruvians, we have like these things, as you said, vaina, like anything, cualquier cosa. And we also use, for example, we say, "Eso es papaya," and that means that's easy. But in other countries, it means something really bad. So it depends, I guess. We also have like "que palta," which is like, that's like cringy. No, thank you. We have a lot of fruits in our vocab, so it's really weird. But once you get used to it, it's really easy to understand. And I really love Central American people's Spanish. I used to have many Puerto Rican friends when I was I was spent like 3 months in the States foreign internship, so I
Yeah,
had a lot
Puerto
of
Ricans
friends.
speak really funny. They speak like Spanish.
Yeah, I love them. I even started to like I started like imitating their accent, and my mom was like, what are you a Puerto Rican now? Like she was starting to like, I don't know, she was just like, I think she was worried because she wasn't able to understand me as
Yeah.
before,
It's
but it's amazing. I love their accent. I
yeah.
love all people's accent, like
Yeah.
from any South American or Central American country. I love.
Cool. All right. Yeah, you'll definitely get a lot of different accents out here, especially Puerto Rican. There's a lot of people from Puerto Rico in the land specifically. And yeah, Orlando is full of people from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. But you'll also hear it from the music. There's, especially nowadays, I don't know why, but like Latin music is just on the, you know, all this good music coming from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Colombia, you know, and it's super popular in general in the States. You know, ever since Justin Bieber put out Despacito, all of a sudden everyone likes, I love reggaeton, you know, so that's how it's been lately. But anyways, guys, like I said before, I'm getting kind of hungry, so it's gonna be time to go pretty soon. Let's see how many people stayed here. 12 people stayed. Wow, 2-hour meeting. That's insane, guys. So thank you for staying. And you know, I know the first part of our presentation was very formal, and the second part is very informal here. But this is the kind of person I am. I like to let you guys know that I'm human once in a while, and that on the other side of this big, scary life change and decision that you guys are applying for, that you may get to and may not get to do, you know, because that's the reality of life. Some people might get in, some people might not. But at the same time, it's good to understand that we're all human and we're all trying our best to make dreams come true, to, you know, to make our work count and mean something. And I'm very happy that I got to share this time with you guys, and I'm so excited. And I really hope that you guys can make it. If it's not Stetson, if it's another school, I wish you the best as well. Okay, so thank you very much. And yeah, I'm always just an email away or a scheduled phone call away. All right, guys? So take it easy. Bye-bye. Adios.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Adiós,
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Valeu,
Guys.
valeu.
Bye.
Valeu.
Adios, bye bye.
Valeu.
Valeu.
Ciao.
É.